margin. And I think Gonzaga did a great job of trying to stay in this game, try to stay in that game with free throws.
Stop it.
I think Gonzaga Baylor shot 60% and they only went down by 10 at half.
That's because the refs are calling every little tic-tacky foul. Like, Dom was going straight up. Tatu was going straight up. They're trying to get my man out the game. Like, Jalen Suggs did the same thing. He swatted him in the UCLA game. That was a foul. He hit the hand a little bit. But come on now. We're not going to talk about that. Gonzaga was only in this game because of tic-tacky foul.
Okay, y'all.
Yo, guys, welcome back to another video on the Up Next Show. I'm Marcus Bailey.
I'm Delito Kulamaker.
I'm Amir Ahmed.
And today, we're going to be talking about the Gonzaga versus Baylor Bears NCAA men's tournament game that happened April 5th. Our co-host Kaylee sadly could not make it to this shoot because she has some personal issues going on. But we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it running. So Delito, I want to ask you, what do you think happened? And just break down what you saw in the game.
Thank you. I've been waiting all year for this. I've been waiting all tournament for this. I made my bracket. I had Baylor versus Gonzaga in the final game. Gonzaga scared me a little bit in that UCLA game. And I said this. I said, if Gonzaga keeps it close with UCLA, they don't deserve to be on the same court as Baylor. I said that before the game started. And that game went into overtime, and Jalen Suggs hit a lucky but good buzzer beater to beat the Bruins. Once I saw that, I knew it was over. I knew Baylor was going to win the game. Baylor should have been number one all year. Baylor and Gonzaga were supposed to play earlier in the year, but Baylor had COVID issues, so they didn't play for about 3 weeks, and then they had another stretch where they didn't play for 2 weeks. And they came right back off of those hiatuses and lost their 2 games. The 2 games they lost in the season, it's after those long breaks. So Baylor could be undefeated because we know they're the better team, and we saw that last night. Baylor was a horrible matchup for Gonzaga, and that's not even Gonzaga's fault. Gonzaga's a good team, but when it comes to Baylor, they're inferior. They can't keep up with them. Baylor just outmatches them in the mind, will, and just overall, not even talent, just overall skill, like skill, not talent-wise though. Literally, Drew Timme, I said this. Thamba, Vital, and Thachua are sitting on Drew Timme. He was not going to get all that post work he be doing. He's not getting that because they play physical. They're big. They're dogs. And we saw that when we had him to 12 points, leading scorer. Corey Kispert, he lights out. He'll make a bunch of threes, and he'll take you off the dribble. We sat on that because our 4-guard set, I said this all year, it's impeccable. We run that to the T. We dot our I's and cross our T's on defense. We don't leave nothing open. We contest everything. Gonzaga wasn't used to that. They're used to blowing teams out. They had the most double-digit wins this year. They're not used to close games. That's why that UCLA game scared everyone. But they won. But when it came to Baylor, the game was over in the first 5 minutes. Davion Mitchell was cooking. And Maceo Teague had an answer for everything Gonzaga did. Baylor had all the answers, and Gonzaga didn't. That's why Baylor won the game. Gonzaga made adjustments. Baylor made better ones. Gonzaga was getting killed in man. They moved to a 2-3. You know what we did? You know what Baylor did? We started going to the free throw line. We saw it was over. Maceo Teague, butter. He wasn't missing at that free throw line. Every time. He cut right behind the defender and pull up right over the center. They went back to man. We ran that high pick and roll. We could also run isolation. Gonzaga had picked their poison, and they lost each and every time. That's why they got blown out by 16. It doesn't sound like a blowout, but college basketball, that's a blowout. That's why Gonzaga got blown out, and they didn't stand a chance. Good team, but Baylor was way better.
Yeah, Delisa, you made some great points. I'm gonna just rebound off what you said. First of all, I want to congratulate Scott Drew and that Baylor team for finally bringing home that championship after 115 years, and Scott Drew's been there since 03. So I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. I don't really watch the NCAA like that. I'm gonna keep it a stack, but this game was interesting. This game kept me, although the score wasn't as close at most points. This game kept me eye open. I was eye open the whole game. Baylor came out hot with a chip on their shoulder. They shot 60% from the 3 in the first half. If you shoot 60% from the three in the first half, you definitely should win the game. And especially when Gonzaga shot only 20%, there was a big margin. And I think Gonzaga did a great job of trying to stay in this game, try to stay in that game with free throws.
Stop it.
I think Gonzaga Baylor shot 60% and they only went down by 10 at half.
That's because the refs are calling every little tic-tacky foul. Like, Thom was going straight up. Tatu was going straight up. They're trying to get my man out the game. Like, Jalen Suggs did the same thing. He swatted him in the UCLA game. That was a foul. He hit the hand a little bit. But come on now. We're not going to talk about that. Gonzaga was only in this game because of tic-tacky foul.
Okay, y'all already won the game.
Gonzaga came in with a chip on their shoulder. ESPN had Gonzaga winning. Gonzaga had a 53.6% chance of winning this game. So Baylor already had the chip, especially with the COVID problems throughout the season, all the delays and stuff. Baylor had a chip. What I noticed was Gonzaga. First of all, Gonzaga could not man up against them. No way, no how. Again, those guards were nasty from Baylor. So they switched to a 2-3 zone. Bad mistake. Baylor is number one in the country in 3-point field goal percentage. So you know they're gonna come out hitting. 6 of their players shoot above 40% from the three. So why would you go to a 2-3? You're getting cooked.
That's unheard of. 6 players shooting above 40% from the three, and they'll still go lock you down on defense.
And there's 2 players shooting about 3.9, 3.8.
That is unheard of.
Look, it is. It's crazy. When I was doing my research, I was like, that's crazy. But again, they're two top tier scorers, both of them top 10 in scoring. So I knew this was going to be a high scoring matchup, but I don't think it was a smart idea to go 2-3. That 2-3 was getting hit by them cutters. The pick and pop was working, and they was dishing it out, and they was hitting. It was knocked down. But I'm not gonna degrade Gonzaga like they're a bad team. Gonzaga is a great team, number one in scoring margin in the league.
Stop it. Gonzaga is
number one in field goal percentage.
Gonzaga
is field goal 10. Although they play worse competition, I'll give it to them, and it's probably easy. They probably had an easier road. I'm not gonna sit here and act like Gonzaga's not a good team, like they didn't put up a fight. Like in the second half, in the second half, if you just take the second half, Gonzaga only loses by 6. It was that first quarter that really got them. That foul.
We're coasting. We're coasting. We already beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor had their foot on the gas the whole game. We could take it off, put it right back on when we sent y'all coming back. They got it down to single digits coming into the second half. You know what we did? We took off. Maceo Teague, butter. Davion Mitchell, butter. Vital, he was sitting on that stuff all night. Only 6'5". Drew Timmy's about 6'7", 6'8". Come on now. The game was never out.
From a casual NCAA watcher, the player that stood out to me was Jared Butler. Jared Butler was hitting it from everywhere. I think he hit about 3 threes in that first half. He was part of that reason Baylor went up. Although he missed, I think 2 from back there, he still hit 3. It's fine. Come on, man. Again, I dug deeper into his high school profile. They said his strengths were again scoring, passing the ball, able to lead a team. His weaknesses were turnovers. He needs to work on that. He averages 2.8 turnovers, and they said his lateral quickness was not up to par. But I think that's fine. See that he's averaging 2 steals in D1 for Baylor. Another problem is he had offers from Baylor and Alabama. He chose Baylor. What's going on?
This isn't football.
He should have came to Roll Tide. This isn't football. It's okay. He won himself a championship. And that's fine. I think he should be a first round draft pick. I think he should be a first round draft pick because he did lead this Baylor team to a national championship. Amir?
Man, all I can say is how disappointed I am in the Zags. I thought that we were going to come out this game swinging. Jalen Suggs had a chip on his shoulder. This might have been his chance to even clinch that number one draft pick.
No.
We all know Cade's going to get it, but this might have been his chance.
But I see what you mean.
When I tell you that, like, I'm just so disappointed. I knew from the start that, like, it wasn't going to end in my favor. Let me tell you why. What's his name? Mitchell. Mitchell came out hot. Jared Butler, hot. That 4-guard set, hot. Man, Delete, so you were right. I got to admit it. it's just so saddening to see that Timmy couldn't get it done in the paint due to
Couldn't.
y'all bigs. Great effort by them. Really great effort on the defensive
And
end.
bigs, and I'll give it to them. Them bigs can move too. Them Baylor bigs can move.
Oh yeah.
They was moving. I was surprised how mobile they were.
From a defensive player myself, people will look at the offense, but from a defensive player myself, I honor defense. If y'all don't know, one of my favorite teams is the Bad Boy Pistons.
Yeah, we're not talking about Detroit. Let's get back to the Baylor Gonzaga game.
Defense really wins championships, and that game is just proof of how.
The defense shut down that high flying Zags offense.
Still put
That
us
double digit.
They couldn't do anything. Baylor was sitting on them. And never in college basketball history have you had a team that could shoot that consistent from the three, or shoot that consistent at all, matter of fact, and still go back on that
I
defensive
mean,
end and
Gonzaga
keep
was
the
number one in
intensity up,
field goal percentage.
contest every shot, and
Not
make the
Baylor.
effort. Now, I will admit,
It's just a 3.
I will admit, Gonzaga could have won that game.
No, stop it.
They could have. Look, listen.
Gonzaga could've
I
won that
agree.
game.
Listen, I want to piggyback off what Amir said. Then we can wrap this video. I think Gonzaga could have won that game. If you look at it, Gonzaga was only down by 10. Tim, how you only down by 10? The team of and you're shooting 20% from 3, and the team above you shooting 60%.
You know how many free throws Gonzaga had that first half?
Huh?
You know how many free throws Gonzaga had that first half?
They had a lot, but
okay, that's why they were in the game.
That's just called good.
That's called drawing fouls.
No.
Anyway, Gonzaga could have won that. And when you look at the second half, they only lost that second half by 6. So I think if Baylor didn't come, I'm not discrediting Baylor, saying them coming out hot was
Baylor's a great team.
I'm not gonna discard Baylor.
Great team.
Them coming out hot was a fluke. It wasn't. But if they somehow didn't come out hot, I think because this would have been a closer match, and Gonzaga would have had a better chance to win.
Even if Baylor didn't come out hot, that does not discredit. Okay. Say they don't start off the game 5 for 5 from 3, but who's still scoring on them? Who's still scoring on them? Jalen Suggs was locked. The moment looked too big for him. Now I know we just hit a buzzer beater. Maybe he was still flying high from that, but no, the moment looked too big. 2 turnovers, 2 fouls, real quick. We were on that. He was throwing bad passes that you hadn't seen all season. Drew Timmy couldn't get any touches in the post. And when he did, he was getting sent to the stands. Corey Kispert was not getting the wide open looks no more. Ajayi, he was getting locked down. Even if Baylor did not come out stifling hot like they did, they're still locking you down on defense. And you, Gonzaga, Jalen Suggs, all them trying to make their own shots, create on offense, that drains them on defense, and Baylor's still scoring. Nobody could stop them Baylor bigs. Baylor, from opening tip, played their butts off, and they looked locked in from the start. Gonzaga still looked like they were partying and celebrating from their buzzer beater against UCLA.
Again, I respect all.
That's another thing I noticed. Gonzaga did come out. They came out not as fierce as they usually are, but you can also credit that to Baylor's excellent defense.
So look, I agree. I agree to some point with all your opinions. Again, that game was a blowout game, 86-70, with Baylor winning. But we want to thank y'all for watching this episode. Again, Amir's socials will be in the description below, so definitely go check out his socials. I want y'all to hit that button. Hit the little bell next to subscribe, so you know when we drop bangers. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all later.
Go Michigan.
Roll Tide.
Hey, yo, Quantic, run them bands up.
Palace, what you cooking?